Do we know what kind of frame of mind Andrew and Fergie are in at the moment?
Well, I do know that Fergie, people are actually worried about her. She's in such a bad frame of mind.
To the outside world, Sarah Ferguson has always been the unpredictable flame of the royal family. Bright, chaotic, impossible to ignore. But behind palace walls, a very different picture is emerging. One filled not with charm or cheeky smiles, but with fear. According to those close to her, the woman once called the Duchess of York has slipped into what one insider chillingly described as a state of paranoia so deep she no longer trusts the silence of her own home. Because this time, it isn't her own scandals haunting her, it's her daughters. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, once considered the quieter, gentler side of the monarchy, are now caught in a growing storm of accusations, whispers, and resurfaced claims threatening to drag the family name into another public nightmare. And those who have been near Sarah Ferguson in recent weeks say she is utterly hysterical and terrified of what's coming next. Tonight, we step inside Royal Lodge and inside the unraveling mind of a mother who fears the world is closing in.
Is really at a low ebb. As you say, she goes drinking at the doghouse, her pub. I know the girls are kind of, they want to freeze their parents out. They're cross with their parents, they're angry with their parents, but equally, they have stayed in touch because they're genuinely so worried about where their mental health is at.
Royal Lodge has long been Fergie's sanctuary, a place where she convinced herself she still belonged to the royal world, even decades after her divorce. But sources inside the estate say the atmosphere has changed completely. One staff member, who has worked at the lodge for 5 years, told producers, "We've never seen her like this. She's jumpy, she's drinking more, she thinks there are people coming for her family. It's like she expects a door to crash open at any moment." It began, they say, when new allegations resurfaced involving her daughters, hinting at past associations that could tie the York family, AN, to figures they desperately want to forget. And while the palace remains silent, the tension inside Royal Lodge has become suffocating. Sarah's nights are now spent in a small hidden bar tucked behind a heavy oak door near the West Wing, a place staff quietly call the Burrow. It's dimly lit, rarely used by anyone else, and filled with photographs from the 1980s and 1990s, reminders of a life she's terrified of losing. One longtime employee put it bluntly, that room used to be somewhere she laughed. Now it's where she hides.
While Sarah has been told to make her own arrangements, the pair now...
According to former staff, Fergie now believes there are forces waiting to exploit any weakness in the York family. She has reportedly become obsessed with the idea that certain intelligence figures, journalists and powerful people are watching for missteps. Or worse, waiting to expose secrets that could connect Beatrice and Eugenie to long-buried scandals. One insider described it this way: "She thinks there are eyes everywhere. She won't sit with her back to a window anymore. Even phone calls have become a source of fear." Sarah has allegedly stopped speaking on her mobile when discussing anything sensitive, insisting staff switch off devices and unplug chargers, convinced they could be listening tools. A longtime friend said, "She's convinced something big is coming, something that will drag her girls into the mud."
I think also we'll see some fracturing with the relationship with the daughters. I think the daughters are going to try and distance themselves too. And we may even see them renouncing their...
The triggering moment arrived when old allegations resurfaced about a supposed visit involving Sarah and her daughters years ago, tying the family, once again, to someone the public never wants to hear associated with the royals. Sarah has fiercely denied the claims. Beatrice and Eugenie have remained silent. But behind closed doors, the pressure is suffocating. Insiders say Fergie blames herself entirely, not for anything concrete, but for the years she spent moving in circles that now haunt her. One source who has spoken to both sisters told us the girls don't know how to calm her. They're scared for her, and they're scared of saying anything that might make it worse.
I don't have sympathy for them. I think that's the wrong word. But imagine what it must be like, kind of trapped in your house, knowing you've got literally nothing.
The relationship between mother and daughters has reportedly become tense, not hostile, but deeply strained. Princess Beatrice, who has always been the more diplomatic of the sisters, is said to be trying to distance herself gently. She worries her mother's panic could pull them deeper into public scrutiny. Princess Eugenie, meanwhile, is torn. She has children of her own now and fears the fallout could reach the next generation. A source close to the sisters revealed they want to protect her, but they can't let their mother drag them into another crisis. They feel they're walking on eggshells, and still, Sarah insists something is coming. Those who have entered the estate in recent weeks describe an atmosphere that feels like the final days of something once grand. Prince Andrew, according to staff, isolates himself in the northern wing, pacing hallways and holding long whispered conversations with no one. Sarah avoids him when she can. They eat separately, walk separately, worry separately. And yet, both share the same crippling fear. What happens when the next headline drops? Because with every passing week, the pressure from the king to downsize their living arrangements grows stronger. Royal Lodge, the last symbol of their old status, is slipping through their fingers. And insiders say Sarah believes losing the house will expose her daughters to even more scrutiny. One staff member summarized the mood perfectly. It feels like they're living through the last chapter, and they can all feel the ending coming. Friends who have recently visited Sarah describe a woman who oscillates between frantic energy and deep despair. She reportedly cries easily, talks rapidly, and circles the same thoughts again and again. What if they come after the girls? What if this becomes a new scandal? What if the press already knows more? According to one friend, she's terrified she'll wake up one morning and find her daughter's name splashed across every front page. In private moments, Sarah has allegedly admitted she fears her past decisions could destroy the next generation. To many on the outside, Sarah's paranoia may seem exaggerated, but sources close to the palace say the Yorks are still considered a liability by senior advisors. A remnant of a messy era the monarchy wants to quietly bury, and with renewed global interest in old connections, with congressional inquiries stirring up questions once believed dead, and with the king pushing for a modern monarchy free from scandal, Sarah believes the walls are closing in. One insider put it simply, she feels hunted. Whether that's real or imagined, it's consuming her. Beatrice and Eugenie now face an impossible choice: stay loyal to their mother or distance themselves for the sake of their own families and reputations. Those around them say they love her deeply, but they cannot shoulder the weight of another scandal. One friend who recently had lunch with one of the princesses told us she said it feels like they're constantly waiting for the next bomb to drop. And she doesn't know if her mother can survive it emotionally. Behind the polished smiles and soft public images, the sisters are confronting a painful truth. Their mother is breaking, and they can't save her from the shadows of the past. Sarah has survived humiliation before, from tabloid obsessions to financial struggles to very public betrayals. But this time feels different. This time, she isn't fighting for her own reputation. She's fighting for her daughters. And insiders say that's why her fear runs so deep, because she believes the consequences of past mistakes may finally be catching up, not with her, but with the two people she loves most. One palace aide said quietly, if anything pulls her apart, it won't be her scandals, it will be theirs. As Sarah Ferguson retreats further into isolation at Royal Lodge, as Prince Andrew sinks deeper into bitterness, and as Beatrice and Eugenie navigate the minefield between loyalty and self-protection, one lingering question hangs over the House of York. Is this all just the unraveling of a woman haunted by old ghosts? Or is she right to fear what still lurks in the shadows of her past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal revelations and behind-the-scenes stories shaping the future of the monarchy.